I stood frozen in my office, staring at the email that would destroy everything I'd spent 15 years building. The subject line was simple: design theft allegations. Immediate action required. My hands trembled as I scrolled through images of my upcoming collection's designs. Designs that had somehow been leaked to our biggest competitor 3 months before our planned launch. I'm Nancy, and until that moment I thought I had it all figured out. My fashion company, Phoenix Rising, had grown from a small boutique in San Francisco to a nationally recognized brand. My Vietnamese immigrant parents had sacrificed everything to give me an education, and I'd turned that opportunity into an empire. Now someone was trying to tear it all down. "Nancy!" Madison knocked on my door, her face pale. "You need to see this." She held up her tablet, showing me an Instagram post. There was Emma, my husband Clayton's newly discovered daughter, posing with our competitor's CEO. The caption read, "Exciting new partnership in the works. Can't wait to share more." "When was this posted?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. 20 minutes ago, right after the email arrived. The pieces clicked into place. Emma had appeared in our lives just 6 months ago, a 20-year-old art student claiming to be Clayton's daughter from a brief relationship before we met. I'd tried to be understanding, to welcome her into our family. Now I knew why she'd been so interested in touring our design studio. "Get legal on the phone," I told Madison, "and find Clayton." My phone buzzed, a text from my sister Bethany. "Did you see Emma's amazing news? So proud of her landing such a huge opportunity." My stomach churned. Of course Bethany would celebrate this. She'd been Emma's biggest champion since day one, constantly telling me how I needed to try harder to bond with my stepdaughter. I found Clayton in the company cafeteria, chatting with some of our designers. "We need to talk. Now." His easy smile faltered when he saw my expression. I led him to an empty conference room and showed him the email and Instagram post. "This has to be a misunderstanding," he said, running his hands through his graying hair. "Emma wouldn't what? Steal from me? Betray our trust? She's been here 6 months, Clayton. 6 months of access to everything while you insisted I make her feel welcome." "She's my daughter, Nancy. What was I supposed to do? Maybe mention her existence before she showed up at our door? Maybe check her story? Did you even get a DNA test?" His silence was damning. My phone buzzed again. My mother this time. "Nancy, why aren't you supporting Emma's new job? Family should celebrate each other's success." I laughed bitterly. "Your daughter," I told Clayton, "has managed to turn my entire family against me in less than 6 months, and now she's trying to destroy my company. Still want to defend her?" Before he could answer, Madison burst in. "Nancy, there's more. The design team just found their computers have been accessed. Files are missing, not just the current collection, but everything. Development plans, supplier contracts, everything." The room spun. I gripped the conference table for support. "I'll talk to her," Clayton said, reaching for his phone. "Don't bother." I straightened up, fury replacing shock. "I trusted you when you asked me to welcome her. I trusted you when you said she needed a chance. I even trusted you when you suggested giving her an internship here. But this ends now." I walked out, leaving him calling after me. In my office, I found Madison already working, her fingers flying over her keyboard. "I've started documenting everything," she said without looking up. "Access logs, missing files, the Instagram post, everything. We might need it for legal action." "Good." I sat down at my desk, mind racing. "We need to..." A notification popped up on my computer. Emma had just posted again. "So excited to announce I'm joining Stellar Fashion as their new creative director. Time to shake things up. Stellar Fashion, our biggest competitor, and the company that had just accused us of design theft. The same designs they'd somehow acquired." My hands clenched into fists. "Madison, cancel my meetings for the rest of the day. We need to figure out exactly what she took and how much damage she can do." As Madison left, I stared at the family photo on my desk, taken just last month at a dinner party. Everyone smiling, Emma in the center, my mother's arm around her shoulders, my sister beaming proudly, Clayton looking content. I picked up the frame and dropped it in my trash bin. They wanted to choose sides. Fine. But they had no idea what I was capable of when betrayed. Emma thought she'd stolen my life's work. I opened my laptop and began to plan. She was about to learn that karma has a way of coming back around, and I was going to help it along. The next morning I arrived at the office early to find Emma waiting by my door. She had the audacity to smile, as if nothing had happened. "Nancy, I was hoping to catch you. I wanted to explain about yesterday." "Save it." I unlocked my office door. "You have 30 minutes to clear out your desk and leave the building. Security is already notified." Her smile faltered. "You're making a huge mistake. I have connections now, influence. I could help Phoenix Rising if you'd just..." "Help? Like you helped yourself to our designs?" I turned to face her. "Like you helped yourself to confidential contracts? Get out." "Mom was right about you." Emma's sweet facade cracked. "You're just jealous because everyone loves me more than you now, even Clayton." Before I could respond, Madison appeared with 2 security guards. As they escorted Emma out, I heard her yelling, "You'll regret this! You have no idea what's coming!" My phone buzzed immediately after. It was Bethany. "How could you fire Emma?" she demanded. "She's family." "She stole from me, Bethany. She took our designs, our contracts." "Oh, please, she's 20. She's trying to build a career. You're just being paranoid and controlling, like always." I hung up. Within minutes, my mother called. "Emma is crying, Nancy. She says you accused her of terrible things." "Mum, I have proof. Proof? You need proof to trust family? I raised you better than this. That poor girl just wants to belong." I ended the call and turned to Madison. "What's the damage assessment?" She handed me a tablet. "It's worse than we thought. She didn't just take designs. She copied our entire supplier database. And look at this." She pulled up Emma's social media. There were photos of her at our main factory in Vietnam, posing with workers I'd known for years. The caption read, "Amazing meetings with talented artisans. Can't wait to work together on new projects." "She's going after our supply chain," I said, my blood running cold. "When were these taken?" "Last month, during that cultural heritage trip, Clayton encouraged her to take." A knock at my door made us both jump. Clayton entered, looking exhausted. "Nancy, we need to talk about Emma." "Unless you're here to tell me you've finally gotten that DNA test, I'm not interested." He sat down heavily. "She's my daughter. I know she is. Her mother Xerxes, she wouldn't lie about that." "The same Xerxes who disappeared for 20 years and suddenly sent her daughter to find you right when our company was taking off. It's not like that," he rubbed his face. "Emma just wants to prove herself. By stealing my work," I pulled up the factory photos. "By undermining our partnerships." He stared at the images. I didn't know about this." "Of course you didn't. You were too busy playing proud daddy to notice what she was really doing." Madison cleared her throat. "Nancy, there's something else you should see." She led us to Emma's former workspace. The desk had been cleared out, but Madison pointed to something stuck behind the drawer. It was a USB drive. Back in my office, we plugged it in. What we found made my heart stop. There were copies of our designs, but they weren't just copied. They were altered, dated months before our originals. "She's going to claim we stole from her," I whispered. "That's why she took that job at Stella. She's going to say we copied their designs." Clayton stood up. "I'll talk to her. This has gone too far." "Don't bother." I held up my hand. "You've done enough." After he left, Madison touched my arm. "What are we going to do?" I stared at the photos of Emma at our factory, her innocent smile now sinister. "We're going to set a trap. But first, I need you to do some digging. Find out everything you can about Emma and Xerxes. School records, work history, everything." "On it." Madison paused at the door. "What about your family? They've made their choice." I pulled up my calendar. "Now I'm making mine. Book me a flight to Vietnam. If Emma wants to play with our supply chain, she's about to learn who really controls it." That evening, as I packed for the trip, I found something in my closet that made my blood boil. Hidden behind my shoes was a notebook, Emma's notebook. Inside were detailed sketches of my upcoming collection, dated 3 months before I'd even started designing them. My phone buzzed with a text from my mother. "Family dinner tonight. Emma will be there. Time to apologize and make things right." I photographed the notebook and sent it to Madison. Then I texted back, "Can't make it. Business trip. Tell Emma to enjoy my designs while she can." I closed my suitcase, my resolve hardening. Emma thought she'd orchestrated the perfect takedown, but she'd made one crucial mistake. She'd left a paper trail, and I was going to follow it all the way to the truth, no matter who got hurt in the process. The humidity hit me like a wall as I stepped out of Ho Chi Minh City's airport. My phone had been buzzing non-stop during the flight. Missed calls from Clayton, angry texts from Bethany, guilt-tripping voicemails from my mother. I ignored them all. My factory manager, Lynn, was waiting for me. Her usual warm smile was replaced with worry. "It's bad, Nancy. Very bad." "Show me." The drive to the factory was tense. Lynn filled me in. 3 days ago, Emma returned with representatives from Stella. They offered our workers triple their current wages to switch companies. My stomach dropped. How many took the offer? Half the senior team, including your head seamstress. Mai had been with me since the beginning. She'd taught me everything about production quality. Her betrayal stung worse than the others. At the factory, the remaining workers wouldn't meet my eyes. I found Mai's workstation empty, her 20 years of experience gone in an instant. "Nancy," Madison's voice came through my earpiece. "I found something about Emma's mother, Xerxes. She used to work for Stella Fashion 15 years ago." "What position?" "Legal department. And here's the interesting part. She handled their corporate espionage cases." I gripped the empty workbench. So this wasn't just about revenge. It was planned from the start. There's more. Emma's been posting about a major announcement. Stella is launching a new collection next week, 3 months ahead of schedule. My collection, my designs, my life's work. My phone buzzed again. Bethany. This time I answered. "What?" "Mom's in the hospital," she said. "She had a panic attack worrying about you and Emma fighting. Are you happy now?" I closed my eyes. "Is she okay?" "No thanks to you. Emma's been by her side the whole time while you're off on some vindictive business trip. Emma is the reason—" "Save it. Just come home and fix this mess you've created." She hung up. I turned to Lynn, who was watching me with sympathy. "What do we do?" she asked. "We fight back." I pulled out my tablet. "Show me everyone who's still loyal." We spent the next hours reorganizing teams, but the damage was deep. Without our senior seamstresses, quality would suffer. Production would slow. My phone lit up with a news alert. Stella Fashion announces groundbreaking collection, rising star Emma Knight to lead design team. Below was a photo of Emma in my old factory, surrounded by my former workers. The caption read, "Bringing ethical manufacturing and authentic Asian craftsmanship to luxury fashion." I threw my phone across the room. "Nancy?" Madison's voice crackled through my earpiece again. "Clayton's here at the office. He says he needs to tell you something important about Emma." "Put him on." Clayton's voice was strained. "Nancy, I did something stupid. When Emma first came, I gave her access to your personal files. She said she wanted to learn from you, to understand your journey." My vision blurred with rage. "You what?" "She said she felt disconnected from her Asian heritage. That studying your story would help her connect. I thought I was helping her understand her culture." I laughed bitterly. "Her culture? Clayton, she's not even Asian. Did you forget that part?" "I know, I wanted to help her belong." "Well, congratulations. She belonged just long enough to destroy everything I built." I ended the call and turned to Lynn. "Get me Mai's phone number." Mai answered on the first ring. "Nancy, Save the excuses. I want you to deliver a message to Emma. Tell her I know about Xerxes. Tell her I know this was planned from the start. And tell her to enjoy her moment in the spotlight, because it won't last long. Nancy, please. She showed us proof that you stole designs. Said you've been exploiting Vietnamese workers for years. We believed. You believed what you wanted to believe. After 20 years, you believed a stranger over me." I hung up and turned to Lynn. Book me on the next flight home. It's time to end this. As I packed up, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. It was a photo of Emma, Clayton, Bethany, and my mother at the hospital, all smiling. The message read, "Family dinner tonight. Shame you're too busy destroying relationships to attend. But don't worry. I'll take good care of them for you." Madison's voice came through again. "Nancy, Stella just announced their launch date. It's the same day as our annual charity fashion show." Of course it was. Emma wasn't just stealing my designs. She was trying to steal my moment, my audience, my reputation. I stared at the family photo again, at their smiling faces, at the way they clustered around Emma like she was the daughter I'd failed to be. Fine. If Emma wanted to play with fashion shows, I'd give her one she'd never forget. Madison, don't change anything about our show plans. In fact, send Emma a VIP invitation, front row. Are you sure? I smiled grimly. Absolutely. It's time everyone saw who Emma really is, and this time I'll make sure they're all watching. Back in San Francisco, I walked into my office to find Madison waiting with a thick folder and a concerned expression. "You need to see this," she said, spreading documents across my desk. "Emma's story doesn't add up. Her college transcripts? Fake. Her previous work experience? Fabricated. Even her birth certificate looks suspicious." I picked up a photo of a younger Emma with a woman who wasn't Xerxes. "Who's this?" That's where it gets interesting. I found this on a private Instagram account. The caption calls her Mom, but it's not Xerxes. My phone buzzed. Another hospital update from Bethany. "Mom's being discharged. Emma's arranged a welcome home dinner. Last chance to fix things, Nancy." I ignored it and turned back to Madison. "What else?" "Stella Fashion stock has jumped 30% since announcing Emma's collection. But here's the weird part. Someone bought massive amounts of shares 3 months ago, right when Emma first showed up." "Clayton," I whispered. "Check his accounts," Madison typed frantically. "Oh God, Nancy. He sold his shares in Phoenix Rising, all of them. The same week Emma arrived. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. My own husband had bet against me, against everything we'd built together. A knock at my door made us both jump. It was Clayton. "We need to talk," he said. "About how you sold me out? Or about how you helped Emma destroy everything I built?" He closed the door. "It's not what you think. I was trying to protect you." "Protect me?" I laughed. "By investing in our biggest competitor? By helping your fake daughter steal my designs?" "Fake?" He paled. "What do you mean, fake?" I threw the documents at him. "Everything about her is a lie, Clayton, and you were too busy playing proud father to even check." He slumped into a chair, staring at the evidence. "But Xerxes, she wouldn't lie about this." "Xerxes?" I pulled up the photo Madison found. "You mean this woman? Because that's Emma's real mother, and it's not Xerxes." His hands shook as he examined the photo. "I don't understand. Why would they—" "Money," Madison said flatly. "Stella's stock is soaring. Someone's making millions off this scheme." My phone buzzed again, this time from my mother. "Emma's making your favourite pho for dinner. Please come home. Family needs to stick together." I turned to Clayton. "Did you know about the shares, the stolen designs, all of it?" "Not everything," he whispered. "Xerxes contacted me 6 months ago. Said Emma was mine, that she needed family. Then she mentioned Stella's interest in our designs. Suggested we could profit from it. I thought we could make everyone happy." "Everyone except me." I stood up. "Get out. And don't come back." After he left, Madison touched my arm. "What's our next move?" I pulled up the charity fashion show plans on my computer. "We're going to give them exactly what they want, but with a twist. Call our video team. I need every screen at that show ready to display evidence." "Evidence of what?" "Everything. Emma's lies, Clayton's betrayal, Stella's fraud. If they want to steal my spotlight, I'll make sure everyone sees who they really are." My phone rang. An unknown number. The voice was familiar. "Nancy, it's Mai. We need to talk." "About how you betrayed me? About how Emma betrayed us all? She's not paying what she promised. She's cutting corners, rushing production. Workers are getting hurt. I sat up straighter. Tell me everything. As Mai spoke, pieces clicked into place. Emma wasn't just stealing designs. She was exploiting workers, endangering lives, all for a quick profit. Send me proof, I said. Photos, videos, everything. Already done, check your email. I opened the files with Madison. The evidence was damning. Unsafe conditions, unpaid wages, child labour violations. This is it, I said. This is how we stop them. Madison nodded. The fashion show's in 3 days. If we time this right, we'll destroy their reputation right as they try to steal mine. I picked up my phone and finally replied to my mother's text. I'll be at dinner tonight. Are you sure? Madison asked. It could be a trap. Oh, it definitely is. I smiled grimly. But Emma's not the only one who can play family politics. Time to give her a taste of her own medicine. I gathered my things, including a USB drive containing Mai's evidence. Have the video team ready tomorrow. And Madison? Send an anonymous tip to fashion bloggers about Stella's big announcement. Make sure everyone's watching. As I headed out, my phone buzzed one last time. A message from Emma. Looking forward to seeing you at dinner, stepmom. Hope you're ready to apologize. I clutched the USB drive tighter. Emma thought she was orchestrating my downfall, but she'd forgotten one crucial detail. I'd built my empire from nothing once before. I could do it again, right after I burned hers to the ground. The aroma of pho filled my mother's house, but the familiar comfort was tainted by tension. Emma stood at the stove playing the perfect daughter, while my mother beamed at her from the kitchen table. Nancy, you came. Mum's smile faltered when she saw my expression. Please sit. Emma made your favourite. Actually, Emma said, stirring the pot, it's my grandmother's secret recipe. Really? I set my bag down. Which grandmother would that be? The Vietnamese one you don't have, or the fake one you've been lying about? The ladle clattered against the pot. Bethany, who'd been setting the table, froze. Nancy, Mom scolded. How dare you? Show them, I said to Emma. Show them your real birth certificate. Tell them about your real mother, the one in that Instagram photo from 3 years ago. Emma's face went white. I don't know what you're talking about. No? Then explain this. I pulled out my phone, displaying the photo Madison found. That's you at 16 with your actual mother. Not Xerxes, not Vietnamese, just another con artist. Emma? My mother's voice wavered. What is she talking about? She's lying. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She's just jealous because everyone loves me more than her, because I'm more successful. Successful? I laughed. You mean stealing my designs? Exploiting my workers? Here's what real success looks like. I pulled out my tablet and played Mai's video. The footage showed unsafe working conditions, workers being forced to meet impossible quotas, even children sewing in dark corners. This is what Emma's doing with my stolen designs. This is her ethical manufacturing. Bethany stepped closer to watch, her hand covering her mouth. Emma, tell me this isn't true. It's not what it looks like, Emma stammered. Those workers chose to come with me. I'm paying them better. Are you? I pulled up payment records. Because according to this, you haven't paid them in weeks. They're trapped, Emma. Just like you trapped my family with your lies. My mother stood up slowly, her face ashen. All this time, you've been lying to us? No, I mean, I had to. Clayton abandoned me and my mom. We deserved compensation. Clayton was never your father, was he? I pressed. This was all a scam. You and Xerxes planned this from the start. The front door opened. Clayton walked in, his face grim. Actually, Xerxes planned it without Emma knowing the whole truth. Emma spun around. Dad, don't. I'm not your dad, Emma. And I think you've known that for a while. Tears streamed down Emma's face. She promised me. She said if I helped her, we'd be rich. That you owed us. Who promised? My mother demanded. Xerxes? Xerxes isn't even her real name, Clayton said. She's a corporate spy who's been targeting fashion companies for years. She found Emma, convinced her I was her father, and used her to infiltrate Phoenix Rising. And you knew? I stepped toward him. You knew and still helped them? I found out last week. After you showed me the evidence, I hired a private investigator. He pulled out a folder. Xerxes approached Emma 6 months ago, showed her fake DNA results, promised her revenge against the father who abandoned her. Emma believed her because she wanted it to be true. Emma sank into a chair, sobbing. I just wanted a family, a real family. And then when I saw how easily they all loved me, she gestured to my mother and Bethany. It felt so good to be wanted. So you decided to destroy my life, I asked. Steal my work? Turn my family against me? I didn't mean for it to go this far, but Xerxes kept pushing, saying we deserved more, and then the money started coming in. My phone buzzed. Madison. Stella's stock is crashing. Someone leaked the factory footage online. I showed Emma the message. Your empire's falling, and Xerxes is probably already gone with the money. Still feel wanted? Emma buried her face in her hands. My mother moved to comfort her, then stopped, torn between instinct and betrayal. The fashion show is in 2 days, I said. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to publicly admit everything, the fraud, the theft, all of it. You're going to make it right with those workers, and then you're going to disappear. Or what? Or I release everything, the fake documents, the stock fraud evidence, your role in worker exploitation. Your choice. Bethany stepped forward. Nancy, maybe... No, Emma interrupted. She's right. I'll do it. She looked up, her makeup streaked with tears. I really did admire you, you know. Your success, your strength. I just wanted to be part of it. You could have been, I said, if you'd just been honest. My mother finally spoke, her voice thick with emotion. All this time I blamed Nancy for not accepting you, but you were playing us all. Emma stood up shakily. I'll go pack my things. As she left, Clayton turned to me. Nancy, I'm so sorry. I should have... Save it, I cut him off. We'll deal with you later. I checked my phone again. The fashion blogs were exploding with speculation about Stella's stock crash. In 2 days, they'd have their answers. And Emma would learn that real success comes from building things up, not tearing them down. The day before the fashion show, I arrived at the venue to find Madison in a panic. Emma's gone, she said, rushing to meet me. No one's seen her since last night, and Stella's PR team is in chaos. What about Xerxes? Vanished. Her bank accounts were emptied yesterday morning. I checked my phone. 3 missed calls from Clayton, a text from my mother asking if I'd heard from Emma, and an email from Mai. Workers are scared. Stella representatives threatening legal action if we speak out. They're desperate, I said. They know what's coming. The venue was buzzing with activity as crews set up screens and lighting. My original plan had been to expose Emma during the show, but her disappearance changed everything. Madison's phone rang. It's Clayton. He says it's urgent. I took the call. What? Emma's at my apartment, he said, voice tense. She has documents, Nancy, real ones, about Xerxes and Stella. You need to see this. 20 minutes later, I walked into Clayton's apartment to find Emma sitting on the couch, clutching a laptop. She looked terrible, like she hadn't slept in days. Show her, Clayton said. Emma opened the laptop. Xerxes isn't just a corporate spy. She's running a huge fashion counterfeiting operation. These designs she had me steal, they're being mass-produced in illegal factories right now. She pulled up photos, spreadsheets, emails. She played me just like she played everyone else. Once I realized what was really happening, I started gathering evidence. Why should I believe you? Because she tried to kill me last night. Emma pulled back her sleeve, revealing dark bruises. When I confronted her about the illegal factories, she sent someone to warn me. My phone buzzed. Madison sending updates about the show preparations. I ignored it. That's not all, Emma continued. Look at this email chain. Stella's CEO knew everything. They're not just stealing designs, they're using forced labor, money laundering, everything. I scrolled through the emails. Why are you showing me this? Because I was wrong, Emma whispered. About everything. I wanted a family so badly that I let Xerxes convince me you were the villain. But you built something real, something honest. I destroyed that for a lie. Clayton stepped forward. Nancy, this goes way beyond corporate espionage. These people are dangerous. They're also going to be at the fashion show tomorrow, I said, along with every major fashion journalist in the country. Emma sat up straighter. I'll testify. Tell everyone everything, but what? But I need your help. Xerxes has connections everywhere. If I do this alone, I'm dead. My phone rang. My mother. Nancy, there are strange men watching the house. They're asking about Emma. My blood ran cold. Mom, lock the doors. Call the police. We're coming to get you. As we rushed to my mother's house, Emma explained more. Xerxes has been running this scheme for years. Find struggling fashion companies, infiltrate them, steal their designs. But this time she got greedy. The Stella deal was too big. We pulled up to see two men in dark suits walking away from my mother's house. Bethany's car was in the driveway. Inside we found Mom and Bethany huddled in the kitchen. They said they were investors looking for Emma, Bethany said, shaking. But they felt wrong. We need to move fast, I said. Madison, are you listening? Always, her voice came through my earpiece. What do you need? Call every fashion blogger who's attending tomorrow. Tell them something big is going down. Then call our security team. I want the venue locked down tight. Emma pulled out her laptop again. I can prove Stella knew about the illegal factories, about Xerxes, everything. Good. I turned to Clayton. Call your lawyer friend at the FBI. This just became federal. My phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. Back off, or your family suffers. X. I showed it to Emma. Still want to make things right? She nodded, face determined. I helped create this mess. I'll help fix it. Nancy, my mother said softly. What can we do? I looked at my family, real and fake, broken and healing. We're going to set a trap, but this time we're all in it together. Madison's voice crackled through. Nancy, Stella just announced they're attending the show tomorrow. Their whole board will be there. Perfect, I smiled grimly. They think they're coming to watch their triumph. Instead, they're walking into their own takedown. Emma opened her evidence files. Where do we start? With the truth, I said. All of it. No more lies, no more games. Tomorrow, everyone sees exactly who they're dealing with. As we worked through the night, preparing statements and organizing evidence, I watched Emma. She wasn't the daughter Clayton thought he had, or the sister my family wanted. But maybe, just maybe, she could be something else. An ally in exposing a truth bigger than all of us. My phone buzzed one final time. Another threat from Xerxes. I deleted it without reading. Tomorrow would be about more than revenge. It would be about justice. The fashion show venue hummed with anticipation. Every seat was filled, photographers lined the runway, and FBI agents disguised as security personnel positioned themselves strategically around the room. Stella's board just arrived, Madison whispered through my earpiece. Front row as requested. I stood backstage watching the monitors. Emma was hidden in the control room with our tech team, ready to launch the evidence at my signal. My mother and Bethany sat in the audience, their faces tense but determined. Nancy, Clayton approached, keeping his voice low. Xerxes is here. I spotted her, elegant, poised, and completely unaware that her empire was about to crumble. She sat next to Stella's CEO, both of them smiling like they'd already won. Places, everyone, I announced. It's showtime. The lights dimmed. I stepped onto the runway and the crowd fell silent. Welcome to Phoenix Rising's annual charity fashion show, I began. Tonight's theme is truth and transformation. But before we begin, I have a special presentation. I nodded to the control room. The screens flickered to life, showing Emma's face. My name is Emma Knight, she said, her voice strong despite her fear. And I'm here to confess to corporate espionage, fraud, and participation in illegal labor practices. Gasps rippled through the audience. Xerxes stood up, but FBI agents were already moving to block the exits. Everything you're about to see is true, Emma continued. The screens filled with evidence, emails, photos, financial records. Xerxes recruited me to infiltrate Phoenix Rising using a fake DNA test to convince me Clayton Morgan was my father. The crowd erupted in whispers. I watched Xerxes' face contort with rage. But that was just the beginning, Emma said. The real scheme was much bigger. The screens showed footage from the illegal factories, workers crammed into dangerous conditions, children working late into the night. Then came the financial records, money laundering, bribes, all traced back to Stella's executives. Lies! Xerxes shouted, standing up, and this is all fabricated. Is it? I pulled out my phone and played a recording, Xerxes' voice clearly discussing the scheme with Stella's CEO. Your own words, recorded last night when Emma confronted you. FBI agents moved in, surrounding Xerxes and the Stella board members. The audience watched in shocked silence as handcuffs clicked into place. This is what real fashion looks like, I gestured to the screens, now showing Phoenix Rising's ethical factories, fair wages, safe conditions. Not theft, not exploitation, creation, innovation, respect. Journalists were frantically typing on their phones. Photographers' cameras clicked rapidly. This wasn't just a fashion show anymore, it was breaking news. You'll regret this, Xerxes snarled as she was led away. You have no idea who you're dealing with. Actually, Emma stepped out from backstage, we do, and we have proof of everything. The fashion show proceeded as planned. But now each design told a story, not just of style, but of integrity. The models walked the runway while the screens showed the real artisans who created each piece, their working conditions, their fair wages. Halfway through, Madison's voice crackled in my ear. Stella's stock has completely collapsed. The board members are being arrested. We did it. I caught my mother's eye in the audience. She was crying, but this time they were tears of pride. Bethany reached over and squeezed her hand. After the final walk, I stepped out again. Fashion isn't just about clothes. It's about people. Every stitch, every seam represents someone's work, someone's dignity. Tonight, we've shown you the truth behind the glamour. Now, I'd like to announce a new initiative. Emma joined me on stage. Phoenix Rising will be establishing a fund for victims of fashion industry exploitation. Every worker affected by Stella's illegal practices will receive compensation and job training. The audience erupted in applause. Journalists shouted questions, but I held up my hand. One more thing, I said. To Emma Knight, who chose truth over profit, justice over revenge, thank you for your courage. Emma's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, she whispered. For everything. I know, I replied quietly. Now help me make it right. As we left the stage, my phone buzzed with messages from around the world. The story was going viral. Fashion justice was trending, but the message that mattered most was from workers celebrating here. You did it, Nancy. You protected us all. Clayton met us backstage. The FBI wants statements from everyone tomorrow. This case is going to be huge. Good, I said. The fashion industry needs this wake-up call. My mother and Bethany pushed through the crowd to reach us. Without a word, Mom pulled both me and Emma into a hug. My girls, she whispered, both so strong in different ways. Emma stiffened, then relaxed. I'm not really your... Family isn't just blood, Mum said firmly. It's choice. It's doing the right thing even when it's hard. I looked at Emma. No longer an enemy. Not quite family, but something new. Something honest. Ready to build something real this time? I asked her. She nodded, wiping her eyes. Ready. The venue slowly emptied, but the night's impact was just beginning. Sometimes, I realized, the best revenge isn't destruction, it's transformation. The morning sun streamed through my office windows as I reviewed the final settlement papers. Stella's executives had pleaded guilty, Xerxes was facing federal charges, and the fashion industry was undergoing a massive ethics overhaul. Madison knocked on my door. The workers are ready for the video call. I opened my laptop to see Mai's familiar face on the screen, surrounded by our Vietnamese team. The factory behind them hummed with activity. Production is back on schedule, Mai reported, and the new training program is working well. Emma leaned into frame from beside me. How are the safety improvements coming along? Perfect. Your redesigns for the workspace made a huge difference. After the fashion show, Emma had surprised everyone by volunteering to work directly with the factory workers, using her design skills to improve their working conditions rather than exploit them. My phone buzzed. Clayton's lawyer finalizing our divorce terms. I'd given him a choice: fight me in court or help make things right. He'd chosen the latter, using his connections to expose more industry corruption. Nancy, Madison pointed to the TV. Breaking news showed Xerxes being led into court. Turn it up, I said. The reporter's voice filled the office. Fashion industry whistleblowers have uncovered similar schemes in Paris and Milan. Experts are calling this the biggest fashion industry scandal in decades. They're still finding more illegal factories, Emma said quietly, some worse than what we exposed. That's why our next collection is so important. I pulled up the designs we'd been working on. Every piece tells a story of ethical production. Real artisans, real craftsmanship. The office door opened and my mother walked in carrying bags of takeout. Family lunch meeting. Bethany followed with drinks. Since the fashion show, our weekly family lunches had become non-negotiable. Mom's way of keeping us connected through all the changes. Before we eat, Emma said, I have something to show you. She pulled out her laptop and opened a website. I've been working with former Stella workers to create this platform. It lets customers trace exactly who made their clothes, under what conditions, and for what pay. Transparency tracking? Madison leaned in. That's brilliant. It was Nancy's idea, Emma said. I just built on it. My mother set out the food. See? This is what happens when we work together instead of against each other. Speaking of working together, I turned back to the video call. Mai, are you ready to announce your promotion? Mai beamed. The workers voted unanimously. I'm officially production director for all Asian operations. Bethany raised her drink. To Mai! As we celebrated, I noticed Emma looking at her phone, her expression troubled. Everything okay? My real mum called. She wants to meet. The room fell silent. Emma hadn't spoken to her biological mother since the truth about Xerxes came out. What are you going to do? I asked. I thought, maybe you could come with me? You're better at spotting lies than I am. My mother reached over and squeezed Emma's hand. We'll all go. Family supports family. Even fake family, Emma tried to joke, but her voice wavered. Especially family that chooses to be better, Bethany said firmly. Madison cleared her throat. Nancy, the press is here for the interview about the Workers' Rights Initiative. Send them in, I turned to Emma. Ready to show them what real fashion leadership looks like? She straightened her shoulders. Ready. The reporters filed in, cameras rolling. They captured not just a story of corporate scandal, but one of transformation. Workers speaking proudly about their improved conditions, Emma demonstrating the transparency platform, Mai discussing her new role. Ms. Nancy, one reporter asked, what made you decide to expose the scandal instead of quietly handling it internally? I looked around the room, at Mai on the screen, at Madison's proud smile, at my family's supportive faces, at Emma's determined expression. Because real change doesn't happen in silence, I said. Sometimes you have to break things down completely to rebuild them properly. And Ms. Emma, another reporter turned to her. After everything that happened, why stay in the fashion industry? Emma met my eyes before answering. Because I learned that success isn't about destroying others to get ahead. It's about lifting people up with you. After the reporters left, I found a small package on my desk. Inside was a framed photo of my parents from when they first arrived in America, along with a note from my mother. They would be so proud of who you've become. Not just successful, but righteous. I hung the photo where I could see it every day. A reminder that true legacy isn't measured in profits or revenge, but in the lives we touch and the changes we inspire. Emma knocked on my door. The workers have a new design proposal. Want to see? I smiled. Let's build something beautiful.